Time now for the Creek Catch-Up, brought to you each and every week by the Albion Park Harness Racing Club. And that's what we talk about each and every week, Albion Park Harness Racing. We've got a 10-race program coming through this Saturday night. More on that in just a moment. Let's just recap last week, because it was the big Q-Stars race night last Saturday night, and it was a great night. All Q-bred horses competing across the 10-event program. The star of the show, without doubt, Trent Dawson. He was happy with one, but he ended up walking away with two Group 1 features last week. For Real Life, which he owned, trains and drives, scored in the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings. A few races later, he doubled down and took out the 3-year-old fillies triad final. Last year, he won the 3-year-old fillies triad with Talent to Spare, and he's got it again, this time with Magical Maya, raced by breeders Kevin and Kay Seymour. So Trent Dawson with two Group 1 features. The other Group 1 features went the way of Bernie Hewitt with this remarkable filly, Jewel Melody, who claimed her 7th race victory overall, but it was her 4th Group 1 of the season. Earnings now in excess of $300,000, and she was really dominant as well, while Captain Shuffles was able to take out the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings feature. What a meteoric rise it's been for Captain Shuffles. He's trained by Ben Crosby. Shane Graham stepped in for the first time last week, got the Group 1 victory. He led throughout. There was no problems running out 2,138 metres, so he looks like he is a star of the future. Can't wait to see him and Leap to Fame clashing. We've got some great depth here in the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings crop, and that was evident there last Saturday night with Captain Shuffles stepping up and dominating that feature, proving far too good. Teddy Disco, who was second, he was a little unlucky because of his barrier draw, the inside of the second row. He's now getting set for the Breeders' Challenge. Don't be shocked when you next see him if it's at Tamworth, because there's a feature race or a lead-up race for the Breeders' Challenge, a heat that he's got to contest, so it's more than likely he'll head there. He may have a local start before going to that heat, but it looks like Tamworth could be a place that Teddy Disco is going to visit in the coming week. So that action was awesome last Saturday night. Congratulations to all of the winners as well. Artie Bella took out the listed 4-year-old Mares feature, and the 4-year-old Entires and Geldings was dominated by Big Wheels for John Polson, plus trainer Chantel Turpin and driver Pete McMullen. Just on Bernie Hewitt with Jewel Melody, that wraps up his winter carnival. He's now ventured back home, so he heads back to George's Plain, just south of Bathurst there. As far as Jewel Melody is concerned, her season is not over yet. They're eyeing off the Breeders' Crown in Victoria at the end of the year. That comes up in November. And Rip, who was probably a little disappointing throughout the carnival this year, he was picked up last week by Bernie Hewitt. He's also going home. He's back in work now, and he's also going to be aimed towards the Breeders' Crown and the Vic Bred. But Bernie Hewitt has certainly had a really good time here in Queensland this year. A big shout out this week as well to Leonard Kane, because on Sunday, young Leonard Kane is going to tie the knot with his partner, Bethany Manga. That is taking place in Sydney on Sunday afternoon. So on behalf of the Albion Park Harness Racing Club, all the team involved, Leonard, Beth, we wish you all the very best with Wedded Bliss there when you guys tie the knot this coming Sunday. Leap to Fame, speaking of the star 3-year-old, the last star Queensland Derby winner, he's back in action on Friday night. Grant Dixon's going to step him out. He's going to take on his very well-accomplished stablemate in Tim's a Trooper, but it's great to see these guys back in action. Leap to Fame getting set for both the Breeders' Challenge in Sydney and also the Victoria Derby in Victoria, so we can't wait to see him step out on Friday night at Albion Park. Disappointing news coming through for Chantel Turpin. Venus Love, who ran that cracking race last week in the heat of the big Group 1 Nutrien Series, where she ran second behind the very smart 2-year-old, the Locomotive. Unfortunately, she has incurred a little bit of an injury setback, and she's going to be scratched from that Group 1 feature this Saturday night. So that's disappointing news, but they've still got plenty of talent as far as the 2-year-old trotters are concerned. Embracing Pacing, they've got a big night scheduled for Saturday. It's September 17. If you want more details, contact the club, but they are raising plenty of support for the Jane McGrath Foundation. So if you want to find out more, contact the club. Kate Butt will be able to help you out with all the details, but they're going to have a big night coming through on Saturday, September 17. If you like following harness racing in America, Al Barnes, who's part of the staff here at Albion Park on the track, he's in North America at the moment, and there's every chance he might be driving this weekend in Yonkers in New York. So keep an eye out. Don't be shocked if you see A. Barnes there on the Sky Monitor. That's the Al Barnes from the Albion Park Harness Racing Club. He's on a bit of a holiday over there, so we'll watch with interest to see if he lands a couple of drives over there in New York, Al Barnes. And as far as the Nutrien sale is concerned, nominations closed off this week, and the nominations were really strong. Great response by owners and breeders, so it's going to be a very strong sale coming up early next year. We'll have more details in the coming weeks and months, but just looking at those nominations, really strong. Well over 100 nominations for that sale, which is slated for next year. Now, Albion Park on Saturday night, 10 races. We start at 5:39. We start with a really good free-for-all. Mac Da Vinci there, Cruise Bromac, now under the care of Shannon Price and Scott Miller. He's engaged as well. There's plenty of other horses in that race that are capable of winning, so that's going to be a very competitive race. Race number 1. Uncle Shank in race 4. He's set to start a very short price favourite, but he's got a fantastic strike rate. It'll be interesting to see how he goes, and it's going to be interesting to see how much longer he stays here in Queensland. There's a lot of interest in North America for Uncle Shank, so maybe this could be his final start coming up on Saturday night. But the highlight for mine is race 9, the 2-year-old. Several are backing up from last week's Group 1 features, including My Alderman Jacko and also Private Bronski. Talk in Motion steps out there. That's a ripping race, race number 9. So there's a lot to look forward to there on Saturday night. As I said, we start at 5:39. There's something for everyone at that meeting. So we look forward to seeing everyone trackside this Saturday night. That's another edition of the Creek Catch-Up. We'll join you again next week.